Hey everyone, it's Michael Simpson here, the founder and senior instructor for the National Commercial Real Estate Association with you here today. Today I wanted to talk with you about things that I think you really need to do on a daily basis in order to have success. I believe these are critical components to your business, whether frankly, this applies to residential real estate or commercial real estate or just business in general. But these are laws. I call them 7 immutable laws that you need to follow in order to have success. You know, this business is not complicated. I think we complicate it. We tend to freeze up and say, what do I do? What do I say? When do I do it? Do I use the phone? Do I door knock? You know, and we tend to make it complicated. It really is not complicated. It's a very simple business. A lot of it's right here. It's our mind. Okay, it's a mindset. So this is a lot about mindset and what you need to do in order to succeed in your mind on a daily basis. And number one is how many conversations. You've got to have a number of conversations. I say have 6 to 8 conversations every single day. How many conversations do you have every single day asking somebody if they want to buy or sell, in this case, commercial investment real estate? 6 to 8 conversations. Now, is that hard to do when I say that? I ask that question in almost every class I do, and I hear yes, it's hard. I hear no, it's not hard. But we don't do it. For whatever reason, we have all these excuses. We're too busy. We're working on our escrow. We're working on our listing. Excuses. Mindset. If you get up every day and you say, number one most important thing for me is going out and having my conversations in other words, lead generate, talk to people, ask them if they want to buy or sell, or who do they know that wants to buy or sell commercial investment real estate in the next 12 months. If you get up and you have 6 to 8 conversations every single day, the rest of your day will take care of itself. The rest of your business will take care of itself. If you do it every single day and make it a priority, it really isn't that hard. If you don't do it today, well then tomorrow I need to have, let's say 6 conversations. I didn't do it today. Well, tomorrow I need to have 12. And I don't do it tomorrow, so the following day I need to have 18. Well, then it gets so overwhelming that it's almost impossible to do. But if you just get up in the morning and say, that's my number one priority, I'm going to do that first and foremost before I do anything else. Everything else has to wait. Everything else would take care of itself, okay? That's rule number one, and it's very important. It's probably the most important rule that there is get up and have it. And understand the difference between top producers and everybody else is the top producer just does it. The top producer says, I don't care about anything else. All of that has to wait. It can all wait until later. It's all going to be there. I need to build my business first and foremost, and it's all about my lead generation in the morning. I suggest again, but I also suggest you do it in the morning. Don't try and do it in the afternoon, because in the afternoon, too many things come up. Our energy level drops and too many distractions can hit us. Where in the morning, you just time block it. I time block it. I do what's called a 3-foot circle, a 3-foot rule, and nobody gets in front of me in my 3-foot circle, not even my family, during that time zone, whether it's 2 hours or 3 hours that I'm lead generating for my business. And the family knows this. They know if they need to get to me, that don't try calling me on my cell phone or texting me or any of that stuff. The cell phone is just one big huge distraction, is all that thing is. I put it off to the side, and if somebody needs to get to me at the family level, it's an emergency, they call the front desk, they get to my assistant comes and tells me, hey, you've got something going on. Outside of that, it can wait. Everyone, and if there's a customer that can't wait 1 or 2 or 3 hours to have a conversation with me, they're so important that they can't wait, that's not a customer that I'm going to work with, because I'm not living my life where I'm at the beck and call of somebody. I'm not doing that. Okay, now I time block so that after my lead generation time, I go and I see what's going on in the world. Who's trying to reach me? What things have popped up? What challenges do I have? Who do I need to get to? But they need to be able to wait until that is done, or I'm not going to work with them. Simple as that. Okay, because a lot of this is, whose business is this? Is it your business, or is it everyone else's business? Last time I checked, this is my business. And by the way, it's a pretty successful business. I do it at a pretty high level. I have lots of people that send referrals to me for buyers and sellers because they're so happy with our services. So I think it's a pretty good business. My track record speaks for itself. I must be doing something right. I'm going to do it my way. I'm not going to do it other people's way. See, so again, this is all a mindset. That rule number one is really important. Rule number two is expenses. You've got to have some expenses. You've got to spend some money, but you can't spend everything you've got. And you should spend about 10% of your GCI for marketing and expenses, okay, to go after new business, not, office and stuff and all the other expenses, but just marketing and getting new business in general. 10% of your desired GCI. So not your 10% of what you're getting today, but unless that's your desired GCI, but 10% of what you would like to receive, okay? Think about it just for a minute. If I said to you, I'm going to open up a new real estate company. I've got this great new model, and I want you all to come work for me at my new company across the United States. The thing is, though, I don't want to lead generate. See, I don't want to prospect because I don't like to do rule number one. I don't want to talk to people on a daily basis and ask them if they would like to come to my company. So I'm not going to do that. And number two is I don't want to have any expenses. So I'm not going to have any copy machines. I'm not going to have any conference rooms. I'm not going to have a receptionist. I'm not going to have any training events because that all costs money. So I don't want to do any of that stuff. What do you think of my company? Do you want to come work with me? Probably not. I mean, it's a joke. It's laughable. It's not even, we would never do that, right? But as a real estate agent, we walk around thinking, I don't need to spend any money. I don't need to lead generate, or I'm not going to do those things. And I want to have a highly successful business. It doesn't make any sense. It's the same thing as the business owner with a new real estate model that I just said, that I just used as an example. You own your own business and you're nothing more than a small individual, mega office. That's what you are, unless you are, even if you're building a team. The teams that I have and the teams that I've built and the teams that I coach and train, they're nothing more than a miniature, small version of a mega real estate office. In some cases, the teams are bigger than the offices themselves. It's the same models, same systems, same concepts, same everything. So you can't spend everything you've got, but you need to plan on having some expenses, and that number is about 10%. The third thing is delegate. Delegate the stuff. Okay, I did some numbers. You can do them too. If you take and you say, okay, I want to have somebody that wants to make $100,000 a year, and they want a new income, and they want to work 48 hours a week. They want to have some time off for vacation and things like that, and they're going to work 45-hour work weeks. They need to make about $45 an hour to do that. $45 an hour to do that. Okay, so just to make an extra $100,000. So understand, when you say I'm too busy, or I can't afford to hire somebody to do this, or I can't afford to hire somebody or delegate to that, what you're really saying, especially if it's a $10 an hour job or $15 an hour job, there's agents and people working with virtual assistants right now as I stand here for $3 an hour, $4 an hour. And it used to be where you had training issues with these and management issues with these folks who were mostly overseas at that rate. That's not the case anymore. These guys have gotten really good, and they've gotten really good at learning, especially real estate agents, because they know real estate agents are cheap, and they know real estate agents are not the best at delegating, and so they don't have a lot of people out there that they can go to, so they're raising their hands saying, hey, I'll do it, I'll help you, I'm here to help you. So you have a lot of people out there who have some experience with databases and the basic real estate stuff, because they know this, they've learned this. So trust me, there's a lot of talent out there that you can find for a reasonable amount of money to help you here and there with some things that you need as you go along. Virtual assistants are a great way to go. If you are doing $10 an hour work, or $15 an hour work, or even $20 an hour work, or even less, or even more, and you're saying I want to make $100,000 or more, you are making that choice at that moment when you're doing those activities. That $100,000 or whatever your goal is not important to you at that time, because you're sitting there doing the stuff that you could be delegating to somebody else. But we're so busy with the mindset and excuses of why we can't do it. Stop saying why I can't do these things, and because I don't have the money, I can't afford it. Stop that stuff and just do it, and you'll see the return on your investment, and you'll start making more money. Now listen, if I take an hour and I delegate something to somebody else, and I go kick back at my chair, this is great, I've got an extra hour. Well, then that's not going to give you the return, and that ultimately is going to end up in not working out, because now you've got this expense and you're not getting any return on it. So that ultimately is not going to work. But if you are willing to take that extra hour or two or whatever that and you delegate the stuff, the lower dollar an hour stuff to somebody else, and you actually go out and you do the things that you're supposed to do, you will see a return. You'll see a return times 4, times 5 on that money that you're investing, and it's going to work out. And don't look at it as a annual figure, okay? So a lot of times I'll say when I'm coaching them, we'll talk about the difference between part-time and full-time, and I always encourage full-time because the part-time you're getting you're really getting one person that works for you, and then they also have another job somewhere else, and maybe even 2 other jobs somewhere else, so they're not really committed to you. They can't be because they have to leave and go do other things. I want somebody who's just mine, 100% in the game, helping me build my business, who's mentally involved in my business. And the difference between a part-time person and a full-time person, I'm going to get the value because I'm going to hire a talented person to take on my business with me and help me grow my business. Write this down. List, sell, negotiate, prospect. List, sell, negotiate, prospect. Those are the 4 high-level activities that you get paid to do that really nobody else can do. List. You got to go out and take those listings. Unless you have a listing manager that's really good, only you can negotiate. You're really good at negotiating. That's something that you should be doing. Again, unless you have somebody on your team that's really, really good at that. Selling should only be done by you. Unless you have a buyer's agent, you can have somebody showing properties as a showing agent, but when it comes to negotiating and writing that contract, that should be done by you unless you have a really good buyer's agent there. Prospecting, lead generation, that really needs to be done by you and only you, unless you have a good listing manager or outside salesperson, inside salesperson, or telemarketers that are helping you do those things. And even still, you still need to do it. That's all you need to do. Those are 4 things that you need to do. And you can delegate everything else. Delegate all the stuff. And I promise you, your world will change when you do those things and when you start doing only the high dollar activity things. Now, I talk a lot about matching your habits, you're matching your work with your personality style, okay? And when I'm talking about this, I talk a lot about personality styles because they're so important, the D, the I, the S, and the C, and I've talked about this in numerous videos. If you have a personality style that is not one that likes to do list, sell, negotiate, and prospect. I don't like to list, I don't like to sell, I don't like to negotiate, I don't like to prospect, I don't like to do those things, Michael. Well, guess what? You may not be in the right role. You may not be in the right business. Maybe you should be on a team. Maybe you should be helping somebody doing some other activities. Don't put yourself in a position where you're not doing the things that you enjoy in your life. You need to like what you do, and as far as I'm concerned, so you need to be happy, otherwise you're not going to be happy. So you need to like listing, selling, negotiating, and prospecting. And if you do like those things, then great, you're a perfect real estate agent, and stick in that role and do those high-level activities and delegate the stuff. I can't stand the stuff. I hate details. I'm not a fan of sitting in front of the computer and doing CRM stuff, and this, I can't stand it. I can do it for a little bit of time, but that's it. And then I'm like, God, I gotta get out of here. I gotta do something. I gotta get up and talk to people, right? Because that's what I do. So keep that in mind. I remember when I first hired my first assistant, this was way back in like 1990. And this was before all the checklists and manuals and things that we have today to help us with hiring and the whole process and training and delegating. I remember the first time I did that, I was really nervous because I don't come from a background of a bunch of cash flow and a bunch of money. So I didn't have a bunch of money, and I didn't have a bunch of reserves and things like this. So when I was hiring my first assistant, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna hire this assistant, and what's she gonna do? I gotta make sure she stays busy. And so I'm not gonna have her come in tomorrow and not have anything to do. So I started moving everything. I had just one desk, and we shared the desk at the time. And I looked at my desk and I said, okay, let me just put everything over on her side of the desk that she can do. And I said, she can do that? Yeah, she could do that. She could do that as well. Oh yeah, she could do that. And before you know it, I looked at my side of the desk. I didn't have anything on my side of the desk. Everything was over there for her. And so what did I have to do the first thing tomorrow morning when I came into work? That's right. I had to get off my butt, go out there and lead generate, list, sell, negotiate, and prospect. And that's exactly what I did. And what do you think happened when you do that? Yes, your business grows. And so, the other thing I discovered with this is this assistant was so talented that she would look at what I was doing sometimes and say, Michael, what are you doing that for? Let me do that. Let me take that. Here, why are you here? Go, get out there, get me some new business, right? And that's what talent will do. They'll actually push you to go get more business. So if you're on the fence about it, pull the trigger. It's not a 1-year investment, by the way. It is a 90-day investment. That's why I was starting to talk about earlier. Don't look at it as an annual expense. Look at it as a 3-month expense, because what you're going to say to this assistant is, hey, listen, I'm hiring you to help my business grow. And if this is not working, if you're not helping my business grow, after 90 days, we're going to do a review. And if you're not helping my business grow, then it's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to keep you on. So let's make sure you're helping this business grow. So you have that conversation, okay? And you understand it and go into it with your mindset of, 90 days instead of a 6-month challenge of a 1-year investment. So hiring is really important. Delegating. Number 4, you must have a value proposition that is unique and separates you from everybody else. So have a value proposition that is unique and separates you from everybody else. Now, I just did a video called How to Get to the Table. Okay, it's called How to Get to the Table. In that video, I have a list of marketing messages that I go through. Go watch that video. And when you're thinking of USP, unique selling proposition, and marketing message that you should use, it's probably easier at this point. Just find that video, watch it. It's not a long video, but that way you can stop and rewind, write down, things like that, and internalize. And then I don't have to repeat it, and you don't have to watch it twice on 2 different videos. How to Get to the Table, that's called. Okay, so that's number 4. You've got to have a unique marketing message that separates you from everybody else. Number 5, rules to follow. You need to have rules to have them follow. You need to have hoops that the people should jump through in order to work with you. Hoops and rules like, I'm not going to work with a buyer unless we spend time, get together for a minute or 2, whether it's on a virtual Skype type call, or a FaceTime, or a Zoom.us. I like to use that tool because it's really simple to get in front of people, or in person. That's a rule. Or I'm not going to work with a buyer, unless they are going to sign an agreement, some sort of confidentiality agreement, NDA, something. Certain rules. You can have these rules and hoops that they need to go through in order to work with you. We have pre-qualification questions that we talk about all the time regarding sellers. So those could be rules where you're not going to list their property unless you've gotten answers to these rules, or you've gotten some things from them. But you want to have some certain rules so that you can have a business that is your business, where you're not just working with anybody that fogs a mirror, or anybody that wants you to run over here and run over there. You're not just doing that and running around. You're working with people based on certain rules that you follow. And I understand why we don't do this, by the way. Getting back to rule number 1, we don't lead generate enough. We don't have the conversations that we need to have on a daily basis. Michael, I've only got this 1 lead. And if I lose this 1 lead, I'm going to lose everything I've got. So I don't want to lose everything I've got, so I better do it the way they say I should do it. If we're coming from a position of scarcity, then yeah, it makes it very difficult to have rules in place. Where if we're coming from a position of abundance, it says, hey, look, coming from a position of abundance can only happen when you're doing rule number 1 every day, because then you're having all these leads coming at you. You're getting all these people that are interested in buying and selling commercial real estate. And then when you can do that, you can say, hey, here's the way this works. And by the way, it works really good. And I've got all these other people over here that have worked with me in the past that are sending referrals. And I'm like top 1% in the United States and number 3 in commercial in California, Hawaii. So I think it works pretty good. I'd love to help you as well. This is the way it works. If you don't want to do it this way, though, it's okay. But hurry up, make up your mind, because I've got all these other people that I would like to talk to and that would like to talk to me. See, that's the difference there. So if you're doing number 1 at a high level, it gives you the ability to do all these other things. Write this down. 85% of the people we meet are a complete waste of time. 85% of the people we meet are a complete waste of time. They're nice people, but they're just never ever going to actually do something and close something out for you. So what we should be doing here is trying to determine, are you the 85% that's going to waste my time, or are you the 15% that's actually going to go do something with me? And I want to know that pretty quickly. And how I can find out is by asking you to take some steps, follow some rules. Okay, that's number 5. So let's recap. Number 1, have 6 to 8 conversations on a daily basis. Number 2, have expenses under control. It should be 10% of your GCI. Number 3, delegate the stuff. Stop doing the stuff. Number 4, you've got to have some marketing messages that are powerful, unique selling proposition, USP messages that get you get you to the table and get you in front of everybody else. And number 5 is you've got to have rules for them to follow, steps that they go through and hoops that they need to take in order to get to you. Number 6, model. Don't reinvent the wheel. People have gone before me. You don't have to try to refigure everything out. People have gone before you. You know, one of the things I used to notice as an agent in the office, and then when I became a broker and an owner, I really saw this a lot, is you would see the newer agents and they would come into the market and they would say, hey, how do you take listings? I heard listings are a great way to go. And they would talk to a top agent about how they take listings. And then they would talk to another top agent and say, how do you take listings? I heard that listings are a great way to go. And then they would talk to another agent and say, hey, how do you take listings? I hear that that's a great way to go. And they talk to another person, and they keep talking to people, and they taking all these classes. What are they doing? They're getting ready to get ready, to get ready, to get ready. What they need to do is just take action, just go. Find somebody who has gone before you. Find somebody who is doing what you want to do, or who has done what you want to do at a high level, and just ask them and follow what they say. When I first got into real estate, I latched onto the #1 agent in my office and said, I'll do whatever you say, just tell me, I'll be a sponge. And I did just that, and I was Rookie of the Year in the office. When I did 100 deals a year, when I was doing those 100 deals a year, did I figure all that out on my own? No, there was no need to do that. I had a coach that was helping me do 100 deals a year over and over again. And then when I opened up my real estate franchises, I don't know how to open up a real estate franchise. I've never done that before. Why should I try and figure all that out? Where there's people who are out there doing it. I latched onto them and said, hey, the top people, and said, how did you do it? Show me how to do it. And of course, they love sharing this information with you. And then when I got into commercial real estate, I had a mentor and a coach helping me become the top 3 commercial agent in California and Hawaii. People have gone before you. You don't have to keep figuring it all out, okay? So that's a really important one, is model. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. And number 7 is interview. Like a doctor. What's a doctor do? Doctor comes in, asks lots of questions, and then diagnoses and makes suggestions. The other thing that doctors do on a really high level is they don't do the stuff, do they? They have nurses that do all the stuff. And then the doctor comes in and boom, 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 goes from appointment to appointment to appointment to appointment, and just does the high level stuff. So are you the head doctor, or are you the head nurse in your business? Or are you both? And what should you be? See, I think you should be the doctor. You should take charge and say, here's the way this goes, and be highly efficient and comfortable and strong in your business. And that also means not letting other people who don't know, who aren't doing more business than you are, like customers, tell you how to do your business. It's funny how customers like to tell us how to do our business, right? How they heard somebody at the water cooler at their office telling them how they had somebody do it this way and that way, and that you should do it this way and that way. Well, like I said, whose business is it? It's your business, and you're probably doing it at a high level, and you can probably do a great job, and you have lots of people that want to work with you. So just keep doing it your way. Learn from people who are doing more business than what you are doing, or who have done more business than what you are doing, and follow what they're saying. And just not reinvent the wheel, and treat your business like a doctor. Those are the 7 immutable laws that I feel like you really need to do, those 7 immutable laws on a daily basis in order to have success in your business. So I hope this has been helpful for you today. Thanks for watching. As always, website, library, YouTube page, reach out to me. I want to help you guys. I'm here to help you. If you're willing to do the work, I'll help you get there. Thanks for watching. Make it a great day.